Taking my camera with me everywhere I go, every day, has made me fall back in love with photography. Let's talk about it. Now, it has been a wild month to 6 weeks, making sure I have my camera with me every day just to capture random life moments. And as primarily a videographer for a living, stills has kind of always been this side that, sure, I've got lots of photography jobs in the past, but I personally love it as like a little passion project on the side where I can don't worry about clients, don't worry about briefs, don't worry about anything. So for the last 4 to 6 weeks, it's kind of been like that. Every day I bring a camera with me, take some photos, and I've been loving it. The first and pretty obvious reason why it's amazing is quality. Now, you just cannot beat a nice mirrorless camera like the one that I'm filming on right now compared to an iPhone. No matter what you say, I do not like taking photos on my phone. Like, if I'm desperate, sure. With a fancier camera comes lots of settings. Now, for some people that can be super confusing and super challenging, but as a working professional, I use this all the time, so it's kind of straightforward. What I can do with that camera though is play with my settings and manipulate the way that I take different photos to different effects and have a little fun with it. Another massive pro for having my camera on me every day is that I develop my skills super quick. I got a new camera maybe four weeks ago now, the a7cii Mark II, and different menus, different buttons, different programmable things compared to my other Sonys, but also compared to my Fuji. Now, the Fuji was completely different again. Same thing with this. When I got it, it was like the more I shot with it, the more comfortable I got, the more quickly I could change settings, and that's really important when you've got a camera with you every day. So shooting stills with it every day made me learn the settings, learn my little custom buttons really quickly. You also just get to flex the creative... a little jingle there. You also get to just flex the creative muscle every day. So you are thinking of framing, you're thinking of angles, you're looking at the light, you're looking at the clouds, you're thinking of ways to capture the scene in front of you. So I really loved it. You can't really beat the phone for convenience. Like, it is great. I'm not going to knock it there. But I found that having a little portable setup like the Fuji or like something similar, there are lots of reasonably cheap options out there as well. But I feel like you capture memories that I'm going to print, and I already have printed some and put them in my wall in the hallway, especially when it comes to family moments. Like, I've got a young one, he's just over 1 year old, and capturing some of the shots that I got in the last month, I'm so glad that I had my nice camera with me to capture them. Oh, like, honestly, so stoked. Let's have a look through some of my favorites from the last month. Now, this first one is just such a random, wholesome little moment with my young one in the backyard. Cheeky little selfie, love it. And here again, like, this is dinner time, some silly, ridiculous photo, but it's just so crack up, and I'm so glad I've got a nice, beautiful version of it. This was walking through town here in Christchurch, New Zealand, and playing around with that slow shutter, that shutter drag that everyone seems to be flipping using nowadays. And I posted this on my Instagram with a few other photos from that day, and then sure enough, the person who was in that photo has found that photo, and people through the grapevine. So I just thought, crack up, such a funny moment. But I like it in black and white too. Oh, this one, I don't know why, it just gets me. Like, the colors, the moodiness, the architecture, the squares, the symmetry. It's very cool. Now, here's one of the many portraits that I probably took over the last month. This is of Cam, a friend of mine through the creative world. He actually works for the Crusaders rugby team. You've probably heard of them. This is him, just grabbed his lunch and had a quick catch up. And I quickly said, oh, let's get a photo, and got a snap of him. And I just love it. I think it looks cool. These are what these cameras are perfect for. This is like a daytime stroll, a morning stroll actually, to drop and my young one off at preschool. And I'm like, it's just a cool, fun family moment. This is the day that I got the a7cii Mark II, the camera that I'm filming with now. I was like, I want to take some cool photos of it for my photo of the day. and set this up in my garage. Like, you'd be amazed at how horrific it looked, with a big aperture 300D, and set it up on a you can kind of see it there, like on a tripod, and just took some moody little photos with it, and I'm stoked with how they turned out. Fun new bride and peer shot. This one, man, I love it as well. It's we have what we call daddy daycare, where a bunch of us dads meet up, and this is at my mate's place who has like a farm. They're wandering their kids through it, and I just took my photo out and my camera out and took some fun snaps, and I just love them, and the boys love them as well. Here's my young one again with some chickens, and he was frothing it. Well, we jumped straight to a very different scene. I was filming a wedding the next day, and maybe it was even the same day as the chicken stuff, and grabbed out I had my camera in my little sling bag. This baby, the Bellroy 10 litre, and I had that with other bits and bobs for filming, and grabbed it out and took it this fun little photo of Chelsea, the bride, the day. Loved it. This is of Court, she was a celebrant / MC. Once again, like a fun portrait of someone that I've met along the way. Met her that day. She was lovely. Again, more portraits. These are of friends of mine, Scott and Claire. They gave me one of my first big breaks with video, working full-time for them at some point. So awesome to catch up with them, and lovely to get like a nice, clean photo of them. Once again, as friends of mine, this is Callum and his little girl at a playground. Took the camera obviously and just got some fun snaps of them while our kids were hanging out, and I just love it. It shows the excitement of them having fun down one of the big slides, and yeah, just so cool to have in the archive. Once again, family moments, so fun to have in the archive. Now this one I'd driven for like hours, and I just randomly was listening to a podcast. Maybe it was a James Popsis YouTube video, and then I looked up on the hill and saw this lone cow. Look at that thing, like, it's so cool. So had to grab a snap. This was a sunsetty evening shoot. More portraits here. This is Loz, a friend of mine, getting my hair cut, and she was there, so just got a fun little photo. I need to stop banging this thing. Jeepers. More family snaps, just really to print off and store away as awesome fun little archives. Then I did a bunch of travel, so this is out the window of an aeroplane, and I just love the moodiness, I love the richness of the blue, and it was fun again to be playing around. This is a good time to push my presets. I was playing around with different presets. You'll see lots of different looks in here, and such a good opportunity when you're taking photos every day to dial in a lot of settings. Good friend Callum, again, looking like, I don't know, hilarious. He didn't even know I was taking this photo, but it's just a fun one. Oh, this is him again in a different setting. This was shot, like, this is classic. Like, this was shot at maybe 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night, and we were in this random garage and a random Airbnb for a CrossFit competition we were shooting. And Kurt, a friend of mine, needed to get a self-portrait, and we were like, let's do something cool. So he needed to get a self-portrait for a photo challenge that we're doing at the moment, and we just mucked around and played with a really slow shutter, and with our iPhones we lit up different colors and played around. So this is like so fun and trippy and like good memories. Yeah, the wonderful Bella looking all moody at the beach when I was shooting CrossFit competition. More airplane goodness. And then we move on to Totranui and the Abel Tasman National Park. This is where I went camping for a week or two, and here are just some of the snaps that I have with my camera with me every day. At some point in the day I had to get my camera out. There's my dad having some brekkie, and it's just fun to have these memories captured in such a lush way. My sister, like, yeah, it would be very easy to not just to leave the camera and put it away and say I'm on holiday, but part of me loves to have these to look back on, so no regrets. Yeah, so stoked with how some of these turned out. and just really fun. Like, this was a mission I went on with my young one, and it was cloudy as hell. We went missioning into this cave, and then it started to absolutely bucket down, and I was like, oh no, what are we gonna do? So luckily my wife Nicole came out and tried to find us and had an umbrella. So like, even this photo, it brings me right back to to that moment of us being stuck in this cave. Like, love it. And this is like of jumping rock. It's one of my favorite shots of the whole trip, with a bunch of the young kids. Well, they're not kids anymore, they're like adults that do this jumping rock. But the way it's framed, the way it looks like some evolutionary shot with everyone kind of clambering up the rock, and then Max jumping off looking at the camera, it just looks so cool. I love it. Max really wants to get this printed and put it on his wall, so I kind of do too. Love it. More just fun beachy shots, fun grandparent shots, and just moments like, man, I'm so stoked to have these to be able to look back on. So playing around with lots of different presets, lots of different like filmicky vibes, and lots of family moments. So that is all of my December snaps. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you like the look of some of these images, I do have my presets for sale, link in the description. I've never done that before because they are pretty brand new, but I've got my full collection, lots of different presets there, or individual ones that you can have a look at as well. But yeah, thanks for watching this video, and cheers.